But for people who worry about law and order and justice in UK and other countries adopting our judicial system or our legal system, it's the jury which has the power in the court. And of course, this is the reason why there is no jury in family courts when the family courts take children away from their parents under false pretenses. I'll leave that one there, but leave the audience to have a think about that. Debbie, let's bring you in. Thank you for joining us today. And I think you're going to tell us about the World Health Assembly.
I am. Thank you so much. And hello, everybody. I'm delighted actually to be joined by James Rugowski today, who's joining us very early, his side of the planet. So thank you, James, because we're going to be catching up over what's going on at the World Health Assembly this week, because as everybody knows, the United Kingdom have no sitting parliamentarians at the moment. We have no discussion. We have wall-to-wall mainstream media of electioneering, and we're not getting to hear about what's going on at the World Health Assembly with regards to the WHO Pandemic Preparedness Treaty. So James has very kindly agreed to give us a quick snapshot of what we, the British in particular, need to know. Welcome, James. Thank you so much. And over to you.
Well, thank you very much for having me. And like any other good, murder mystery, there have been many plot twists at the end. And, as I'm speaking to you today, they should be starting meetings in Committee A of the World Health Assembly to discuss a number of things. And the very last thing on their current schedule is items 13.3 and 13.4, which are the quote-unquote pandemic agreement and the amendments to the international health regulations. I fully expect that they might go deep into the night discussing what's going on, because earlier in the week, there were 3 separate draft resolutions proposed. One of them was by France, Indonesia, Kenya, New Zealand, Saudi Arabia, and the United States, which essentially was connected to, on Tuesday, they started a drafting group to continue the negotiations right up to the bitter end. And so as we speak, the delegates are negotiating to try to hammer out a final agreement on the amendments to the international health regulations. We shall have to just wait and see this evening. People can, if you do a search for WHA 77, you should be able to stay up late tonight and watch the live stream to see what happens. It may carry over into tomorrow. Tomorrow is supposed to be the final day when they take some of their final votes and close the session on June the 1st. And there are certain amendments of which I am personally very concerned and paying very close attention. Articles 24, 27, and 31 involve international travel. And what's going on there is with Article 31, it states very clearly that when you leave your country and you're traveling to another country, the officials there have you over a barrel. They can, according to the existing regulations, it forced people to go through a medical examination, prophylaxis, whatever it is nowadays that they call a vaccine, isolation and quarantine. And the terminology that they use is that they can compel people to do that. Now, they actually want to strengthen that by having the conveyance operators, the airlines, the cruise line, the train or bus or whatever type of travel you might be going on, to enforce that, on board when you're embarking or disembarking. So locking down international travel is one of the areas where I want to make it clear, this is not the WHO mandating such things. It's all of the nations agreeing to exert their national sovereignty in order to inflict, their will upon the rights of individual travelers and your bodily autonomy. So we shall see if they manage to reach an agreement on the amendments. Now, there were 2 other proposed draft resolutions, one from the 47 member states of the African region and one from Australia, Brunei, Canada, Norway, and Pakistan, which essentially seems like they're not going to reach an agreement on the quote unquote pandemic treaty or pandemic agreement. And it looks like they are going to call for either a special session of the World Health Assembly later in 2024. Some nations have called for, maybe push it off until next year's scheduled assembly, next May in 2025. The United States said, we're going to need more time than that. So stay tuned. It's a soap opera as the WHO turns. We will hopefully find out tonight or tomorrow morning what they have decided while everyone is distracted by everything else going on in the world. They'll be staying up late tonight and early tomorrow morning to make decisions about, the future of the health of the world.
James, thank you so much for that. And I have to say to all of our viewers and listeners as well that whilst half the planet is sleeping, James never seems to sleep. So if you don't catch the WHO during the night tonight, then please go and check out James's Substack, because he keeps it so up to date with literally the latest news. So James Rugowski Substack, please go and look at that. And James, thank you so much. We'll be catching up next week to do a massive, great big in-depth post-mortem. So thank you, James, and enjoy your day.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, James. I'll just say to our audience, of course, James has to be up, I think, about 3:30 in the morning to give you that short report. So we're going to say thank you very much for the dedication.